Welcome, foolish mortals, to a very impromptu live chat this morning. I had some issues with the computer earlier this week, so I wasn't able to do my normal Monday chat. So this is in place of it. So hopefully everybody's having a good week. It's Friday. It's actually by Sunday. I go back to work tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. But hope everybody's had a good week. Looking forward to a good weekend. Here in America, it is Columbus Day weekend or Indigenous Persons Day weekend, whatever you want to call it. Most of the government people and schools and stuff have Monday off. In Canada, I believe it's Thanksgiving weekend. The Canadians, they're weird people. So, holiday weekend for a lot of people. I don't know if it's a bank holiday in England or not, but could be. So, this is really just a quick little run to thank Usual Mike. He sent me a box that we're going to open here shortly. I have no idea what's in it, but I'm looking forward to it. I also got started getting in my Hot Topic Hot Cash stuff from Funko. So, oops. Sorry, computer finished burning a CD. So we're just going to go over those real quick and then talk about anything you guys want to for about an hour or so. I do have, I got to go check on my mom. She had surgery yesterday, so I'm going to go over there and see how she's doing. But apart from that, I'm going to chill today, maybe throw together some new videos. I have 11 ideas floating around that I need to get on to film and get out to you guys. So without further ado, we'll start with the Hot Topic stuff, since that'll give everybody a chance to actually get on and see what's going on. So it looks like, I think there's 3 in here. And while they do send them in an envelope, which I hate, at least they're inner packed. No, maybe there aren't 3 in here. Oh, yeah, there are. Okay. So, and honestly, I ordered a lot of these simultaneously, so I don't have any idea what's really in these boxes to start with. I got 25 with my hot cash. So, hey, Brightest Day, what is up, sir? Greetings. G-Force, how are you, sir? Good to see you this early. Excuse me. So first up is Peter Pegasus, and I didn't even know this guy had a name, from Fantasia. He's number 989. There were 4 in this set. I'm only missing Chernobog now, so I need to get him. Or do I have him? No. So that's the problem when you get a couple thousand of these things. You don't remember what you have. And the people in the inventory system I used shut down. So that's my fault. Oh, cool. Next is Super Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, I would suppose. Well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here, and I've been up for 2 hours, so it was my off day. So I actually got to sleep for an extra hour today, which was nice. Before work called me and said they'd screwed payroll up. So I had to call them back and figure out what they'd done and try and fix that over the phone. Anyway, I like him. He's pretty cool. So there are, 7 in this run. They've got Razor and Tonka, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, and Super Shredder. I don't know why they didn't have a new Splinter. Maybe he was an exclusive for somewhere. Sometimes if they're exclusives, they don't put them on the normal backs, which I get because then it makes people think they can get stuff they can't. And last one in this box. Thank you, sir. Hopefully you have tomorrow and Sunday off to relax. Last in this box is Kenya from It's a Small World. I don't know how many of these they're going to do because, of course, there's like 60 countries in It's a Small World, and they only have like 5. So the one you can't see here is, honestly, I don't know. Because there's one that was a Walmart exclusive that I can't remember. Oh, Japan, I think. Japan or Mexico. Must have been Mexico. Because Japan's on the back of the box. So, more Funkos that I don't need. But, you know, that's how collecting goes. I don't need any of this stuff. Which I'm having some apprehensions about my collection at the moment. And I've been watching some shows I probably shouldn't, showing with people dealing with people's collections and the stuff they leave in the world when they're gone. And I don't know. I'm thinking about scaling back. I don't know. We'll see. I go through this every so often, then I change my mind because I find a whole bunch of new stuff that I want. So, speaking of new stuff, if you guys like Sumsums, these little Disney dudes, they have been showing up at Dollar Tree for $1. So my mom loves these little guys, so I bought her a whole bunch of them. There were 12 different ones in the box. They're mostly Winnie the Pooh, the Fab Five, and then there was like a Stitch, stuff like that. So they're cool. There's also a new set of Hollywood Greenlight out. I picked up the Greatest American Hero and the Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura is a 1989 Chevy S10. This is the one that he drives around when he's singing, you know, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But cool package. I don't know why I buy these. This is just a way for them to trick me into buying die-cast cars, which has worked really well if you've seen past videos. So, apart from that, I haven't gotten anything new recently. I mean, I've gotten a couple Transformers and stuff like that. So, but let's get into opening this box from Mike and get stuff out of my way. Now, me and Mike have been trading boxes. He sent me a really cool Journey to Babel Migos Spock last time, and I've been sending him some AEW figures because they're really hard to get over there. So I got a new box about ready to send off to him that'll have some of that stuff as well as a couple surprises for him and his kids. But, you know, that's true. And my computer does have a couple inventories, but like Action Figure 411 doesn't even cover a quarter of the things I collect, really. It doesn't even cover a quarter of the Star Wars figures yet. I was using an inventory system called, now I can't remember. But, you know, Funko has their own, but it doesn't work all the time, and it's really hard to add and subtract things. You know, almost 4,000 pops, and I had them all organized. And you know, when I got them, I take new pictures of them and update my stuff. And then that company went out of business, and then I started on a new one. That company's servers went down, so I'm actually going to watch Joey Padawan video about setting up spreadsheets and stuff, and I may just do it at home. It may be easier for me to do here, not really going backwards, because I don't know if I have all those pictures. We'll see. So, all right, so here is the box from Mr. Mikey. And let's see. Oh, it is a box of pops. I always love boxes of pops. All right. Oh, cool. Ray from episode 7. Cool. Tobias Beckett, a Walmart exclusive. Nice. from Solo. Ooh, gold Boba Fett. Ain't he pretty? All shiny. From the 2019 Galactic Convention exclusive. Sweet. Ooh, Dryden Voss's Gangster from Target. Cool. Jenny Humphrey from Gossip Girl. Maybe those did they do? I guess they did the five main characters. Cool. And another Ray. Oh, this is from Starkiller Base. Cool. There's a little note. Dear Chris, should I do it as a mark? Dear Chris, thank you so much for the wrestling figures. I've sent you 6 Funko Pops, which I hope you enjoy. All the best, Mike. Very cool. Thank you, Mike. These are awesome. I will add them to my Funko wall. In one of the rooms. I actually packed up all my Star Wars ones, and then I've bought 100 new ones, so I've really got to get in and reset the wall up and get rid of a whole bunch of other ones. So that was kind of what I was opening today. Now I kind of don't have anything we can really talk about. Today's big thing for me is Muppets Haunted Mansion, which I've been looking forward to for a long time since they announced it. I'd heard rumblings about it earlier in the year, but you didn't really see anything until Disney announced it. Lots of great guest stars, it looks like, including Ed Asner, who passed away last month. This will be his last film performance. I'm sure they probably had him do some stuff for the Doug television series for a season 2 or something. So he might still be going in voice form, but unfortunately he passed, and so he won't be doing any more live action stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it. Also today there is a drop for D23 members for a whole bunch of merchandise from the Muppets, and I'm hoping to see that. Super Awesome Geek Show John, he is currently at the Walt Disney World, and we're going to take a look and see if he'd see anything. Also, Colbane Games and Mariel and Sleeping and Space Buns, they're all heading to Walt Disney World today. So they're going to be there for a few days. That'll be cool. Hopefully we'll see Sleeping pop in from time to time. I'm heading to Walt Disney World in the first week of December, and I'm going to try and set up a little bit of a live stream. We'll see, or at least in front of the Haunted Mansion. I'm not sure how my phone will work as far as streaming. I've never tried to actually stream with my phone before, so I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but we'll see. So apart from that, there's not a lot going on. This week is James Bond, No Time to Die, which I'm not sure if I'll catch in the theater right away or not. I hope it does really well. It's the 25th James Bond movie. It's also the last of Daniel Craig's films. I would suppose they'll let this run a couple weeks, and then they'll announce the next James Bond and say that they've actually already been shooting that movie. Because technically this movie's been done for almost 2 years, but That Which Must Not Be Named came around, and it kind of, pushed everything back into the, ethereal plane. Excuse me. I haven't had anything to drink this morning yet. So, apart from that, that's the big movie stuff going on this week. I did get to watch all of the Disney Sounds shorts that they did. Those are all very cool. The Heroes one was a little too Ray heavy for me, but there are a lot of cool shots in that in the sequel trilogy. So cinematography is beautiful in those films. But those were all cool. Of course, you've seen, if you've been following Super Awesome Geek Show, and I did a couple videos on a couple live streams on the Star Wars Visions. Really liked those for the most part. I even didn't mind Tatooine Rhapsody. It was interesting to see other parts of the universe not in chaos during the Imperial days, just having kind of a normal life. Well, as normal as you can for a place being run by the Hutts. But my least favorite of them was definitely the twins. I didn't like the animation style. I didn't like the voiceovers. But the best ones are definitely the Duel and the Elder and the Ninth Jedi. So, oh, nice. I will definitely try and catch that. I should be back home from visiting my mom by then. So everybody jump over at, well, for me it's 5 p.m., but 7 p.m. Eastern time. John Joker and G-Force will be on. That'll be awesome. Cool. Those guys are always a blast. Salacious is always fun. Vern's a genius with what he does with his figures and stuff, and the nerdery is cool. So those guys are always fun. But apart from that, I don't think I'm actually looking forward to anything on Netflix or anything. I don't watch a lot of real TV, so I don't even know what's really going on over there. And it's Halloween, so I'm actually watching a lot of old Ghost Adventures and, Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin, and, the Halloween is Grinch Night. I'm watching a lot of the older specials, and I watched Garfield last night, Garfield Halloween. I actually forgot how kind of scary that would have been for kids. I didn't remember it being that scary, but some of the animation is pretty scary. So, enjoying the holiday season, as it were. Tonight should be Hocus Pocus. And then all day tomorrow I'll probably watch Ghosts of Great Britain, stuff like that I can get on YouTube while I'm at work. Just play it in the background while I'm doing stuff. Or ghost stories. There's a couple cool podcasts that people have suggested that I start listening to that just tell random ghost stories. So those are always fun. But let's see what else. Anybody looking forward to anything? What's everybody up to? G-Force, if you want to watch it, it is on YouTube. Jim Davis has put, I think, every episode of Garfield and Friends and all the specials are on YouTube. And so it's kind of nice. You can just sit back and turn them on and watch. And I can't read a Garfield comic without hearing Lorenzo Music's voice as Garfield. Excuse me again, jeez. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. Another good one is the Fat Albert Halloween special. I liked that one from as a kid. And then it took me a while to find it, but I don't know if you remember G-Force. There was a claymation special by the guys who did the California Raisins, and I finally found a copy of that, and it doesn't stand up super well, but it was really well done for its time. Nice. I ran across a Slag yesterday and a Sweeps from my Transformers 86 line. So I was able to cancel those pre-orders. I also found, what else did I find yesterday? I went to a few antique stores. I found a couple cool things, including Chilling Sounds of the Haunted House. And then I got the reissue version too. So I do own the both of these records. I think I own 2 or 3 copies of each, but I'm getting better and better copies. Like these are almost pristine. And so now when I listen to them, I can, you know, hear them a little better. And I do have the normal Haunted Mansion albums as well. The ones with Ron Howard and them doing the voiceovers. But I kind of like these. These we used to play, the sound effects ones we used to play in elementary school. And, you know, we just, for our Halloween parties as kids, you would just put this on in the background because the side A of these have stories. And then side B is just sound effects. So we'd listen to those. We'd also listen to a Little Golden Book songs of Halloween, which is very good. To this day, every time I spell Halloween, I spell HALLOWEE and spells Halloween, and which is part of how the song goes. And it's stuck in my head. Kind of like guys my age, we have a lot of Schoolhouse Rock stuck in our head. So when I was in college, we had a history teacher, and he had a whole bunch of questions because he wanted to figure out where the class stood on knowledge so that he wouldn't have to go back and do a lot of new stuff. And so one of the questions was, what is the preamble to the Constitution? And without even knowing it, a lot of us were humming Schoolhouse Rock to the preamble. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of a liberty, do ourselves and our posterities do ordain, and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And he did that to see how many of us would actually use Schoolhouse Rock, because in the end he was a consultant on it, and he every so often he would like to see if his work stuck in people's heads. And of course it did, because I can obviously I could recite it if I wanted to, but singing it is much more tedious and horrible for you guys. So but you know, that kind of stuff sticks in our heads. If you do find a Hydra Stomper, I wonder if they'll be on clearance, because all that other stuff is. I've been seeing people who keep running across that Captain America from Walmart that's on clearance for anywhere from $10 to $13. It just depends on where you're picking it up at. So my store hasn't gotten them yet. You know, maybe it's on one of those freighters somewhere. But yeah, and they've always said music's a good way to teach kids things. Like, you know, G4, speaking of Sesame Street, count to 12 without using the pinball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 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 do. And that was a Pointer Sisters, you know, who sang that. But you know, it's amazing how if you teach things properly, kids will remember stuff for decades and decades and decades after. And you know, 3 is a magic number is another good one. Conjunction junction, of course, everybody knows. I'm just a bill. You know, my hero 0. You know, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Verbs where the action is. I like that. That one's great. Suffer until suffrage is another good one. You know, some of those are outdated, but you know, they were made in the 70s, and kind of the 70s was, you know, was 1776 to 1976 is of course our bicentennial year, and there was a little more nationalism and stuff back then, and they didn't try any race stuff. It just was, you know, different. So yeah, you can't Oh yeah, I saw somebody has made an action figure of that dude, hankering for a hunk of cheese, and also don't drown your food. Don't drown your food in ketchup or mustard or goo. And that was another good one. Those in between things, those are um, those those inserts and Schoolhouse Rock is one of the main reasons Michael Eisner bought ABC. Now, apart from everything else that they gained with ABC, Michael Eisner loved the Schoolhouse Rock, and he wanted to bring them into the Disney fold. So I don't know why. They've tried to do some new ones, but they don't work with New Think. The economic ones were okay. The computer ones, are horribly outdated. Um, but they did some voting ones not too long ago, which were okay, but not, they were okay. So I think they were definitely a product of their time. But you know, so it's that kind of stuff, or Electric Company. Um, the two faces talking to each other, or that's where I first saw live action Spider-Man was Electric Company, and I hadn't even seen the '70s show with was it Peter Hammond um, yet. I don't think. I don't know why I didn't see that because I was watching the Incredible Hulk and stuff at the time. So, or Letterman, if you remember Letterman, that was Schoolhouse. That was Electric Company. But that stuff and Romper Room and things like that. Those are important shows uh, from my generation. Captain Kangaroo. Even now, you know, we don't really speak of him anymore. But even the insert stuff that Bill Cosby did on picture pages on Captain Kangaroo and on the Fat Albert show, um, we're gave important messages that you know I still live by. Being try to be kind to people. I also live by one of the Roadhouse rules: by be nice until it's time not to be nice. So, hey, Art Walk, what is up? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. We're just randomly chatting now about children's programs that we loved as a kid, and of course you can't get we started because you can't get anywhere without the Muppets, and the Haunted Mansion thing is today. You know, oh yeah, the Great Space Coaster. Another good show, and you go back and watch them, and a lot of those, because the messages are universal, they still hold up. Um, the at the moment the millennials are all about Blues Clues. Well, Blues Clues gave some great advice. So did Barney. Their generation has Barney, and they have Blues Clues, and they have Elmo's World, and they have, well, to an extent, they have the Teletubbies. But some of that stuff for them is like Sesame Street and stuff for us. Now, Sesame Street's still going, but I tried to watch it not too recently, and it doesn't have the same humor. Um, Sesame Street could teach you things and be funny. Bert and Ernie would be great, and now it's all, I don't know. They try to bring too much of the real world. The point of Sesame Street was, while it was in the real world, it wasn't of the real world. If you know what I mean. Like when Mr. Hooper died, that was a big moment for a lot of us kids, because for some kids we had never had a death in our family, and how they used Big Bird, who was supposed to be 6, to explain that Mr. Hooper isn't coming back, I thought was great. And the stuff they did with 9/11 was good. But now there's just too much of the real world in them. Yeah, and change is always good. Kids learn different now. They learn more now before they go to kindergarten than we ever knew out of kindergarten. You know, if you're around here in Denver, if you don't already know colors, numbers, even limited mathematics, shapes, all that kind of stuff, long before you go to kindergarten, they don't even talk to you. You have to know some of that stuff before pre-K. So now you have pre-K before K, and now it's crazy because they can learn all that stuff on an iPad. You can show them that, or can't remember. There was a frog um, that teaches kids stuff. Lily and Phil, I don't remember, but yeah, and young kids are really smart, and I give Zoomers a lot of crap, but they do have a lot of knowledge. What they lack is experience. And once they get that experience, once they get into their 30s, they'll be a formidable force for good, I believe. But at the moment, they're just annoying. And, but, kind of like millennials were. And then slowly millennials learned that they didn't know everything in the world, just like we did. We're Gen Xers, or I am. And, we thought we had it all sorted by the late 80s, and we were going to fix everything and we'd be better. Well, things are better than they were in the 80s. Just like for my mom's generation, things are better now because of what they did in the 60s and the 70s. The civil rights movement and the women's movement and pride movements. Things are better. But you can't fix the whole world in a generation. It takes generations and generations. And so I think the Zoomer kids are going to be incredible. Um, Now, whether or not the next generation turns into some sort of automatons with like chips in their heads and stuff, like Mr. Musk wants, we'll see. But sorry, I got distracted on a small tangent. Anyway, so um, yeah, that's about it. And in England, they don't have the same. They weren't allowed to have the same kids type of shows as we were. Um, because of certain laws governing how things are advertised. In the 80s, when we changed some rules that allowed us to have Transformers and, you know, He Man and G.I. Joe and all that stuff, we got a golden age. And in England, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, and I don't know if there's anybody, if Mark or anybody's on from over there, but they were kind of stuck having only, the BBC and ITV to do stuff. They still made great content, Danger Mouse, stuff like that. Blue Peter is a show that's run forever over there. And they have their version of Sesame Street that they show. But they're so documentary heavy on TV. That's why I love it. I have thousands of BBC documentaries. I love BBC documentaries. I love learning things. My favorite era of time is the Victorian era because that's where we came from as a society now. Everything, cars, planes, you know, big world's fairs were happening, all that kind of stuff, the big ocean liners like the Titanic and stuff like that. That's all out of the Victorian age. And of course, for Britain, it's the expansion of the Industrial Revolution that changed the world, and the expansion of the rail system. Um, you know, and it's I love that bit of history. And even here in America, stuff was happening. That's the Gilded Age started. Yeah, you'd have to ask. We'd have to ask Salacious or something about that because I'm sure that they understand that double entendre. But and making it part of a kids show is a very British thing to do, is to make what's kind of you know odd, and make it, it you know taking the mick out of it, basically. Hey, Mr. Jonathan Redmond, how are you, sir? Yeah. He I think I know him. He's the kid from Asia, is he? Is he the one that's on all the toy boxes and stuff? He seems, I know a lot of kids who watch his stuff. He's a multi millionaire. He's definitely done the thing. Well, we were talking about kids shows and how kids learn and stuff now. And we were talking that, in England, you have Blue Peter. And, G-Force is saying, there's a joke in there about that show somewhere. I mean, that show's been running for like 30 years, hasn't it? It's been on a long time. Yeah, that's who I thought he was. He annoys me just because there's boxes and toys. I'm like, damn, that was such a good idea. Why didn't I use one of my friends' kids like that? But he gets so many free toys. I wonder if he gets as many free toys now that he has his own toy lines. I haven't checked in on his channel in quite a while. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long. Let me see. Wow. Blue Peter has been on since 1958. Crazy. Wow. That's a lot. I don't know how often it's on, but it doesn't. There are 5,173 episodes. Wow, that's up there. That's crazy. So yeah, it's been basically influencing kids since my parents' generation, because my mom would have been 8 when that show started. Oh, I don't know. I know that a couple YouTubers have went after him, but you know, yeah. Well, and it depends on what kind of protections he has in his home country. A lot of child actors just do not have protections, and I think the unions have gotten better and better at making sure that their money is put away and that only certain amounts go to the parents, because then the parents can give them, say, um, I'm his manager, and his dad could be like, well, I'm his advisor, and then give themselves big checks out of their money. So, hey, Mr. Guido and Espeedo, what is up, sir? Yeah, there were him and a couple other channels were the basis for that. And it's YouTube, so they overreacted as usual. But in some cases their overreach. Sometimes they dial it back, but most of the time, once they make a rule, that's it, and you just don't, nobody cares anymore. But it's nice to see you in here, Guido. How you doing? So is anybody else uh Rozoff, how you doing? No, today this has been a weird few weeks. Now, I did have 4 12-hour shifts and then an 8, so I ended up with 56 hours this week anyway. But I actually got my 2 days off, which is Thursday and Friday, so it's not so bad. And next week, I only have 3 12-hour shifts, and I get my Thursday and Friday off. So it's weird. Being off is odd because I do have a lot of things I need to do, but I don't feel like doing any of them. Like I said, I have 11 different videos with Funko stuff I've got going, some Playmobil stuff, some trading card things I want to do, stuff like that. And I just, yeah, I cannot be bothered. Yeah, I'll give you guys a preview for peg warmers. Hang on a second. All right. So later today, according to tracking, I have like 3 large boxes of Funko Pops. Hey, quit that. So I've got those coming, but I have picked up my Vision finally. So I've got those all complete. And then, of course, immediately another set came out, and I was able to get that cool black Spider-Man and a very beautiful Storm figure. I love the card art. And then Loki. I love these retro cards. I say it a lot. You put these on, you put 3 3/4 figures out, and I'll buy just about anything on them. While I was rummaging at a thrift shop, found a couple of these cool Hercules mugs. Those were cool. Those were 69 cents. I was happy with that. And then I found my sweep and slug with Danny. Excuse me. I love these. No, I'm out of milk. I do need to go to the store. I'll probably do that before I go see my mom. I'll see if she needs anything. I'm back. I just thought we'll just throw a AMSR. I'll put some rain sounds in the background. You guys can just watch my collection with rain. No, they're exactly the same size. So I had, I don't know where he went. I had the Incredible Hulk wandering around here somewhere. The Gray Hulk. Whoops. I've picked those up. Good thing they're already broken. Slug is awesome. I love these redone Dinobots. I really wish they would have made a Daniel so that he transformed, but still. And then I've finally got. Come here, we're sliding around. The last 2 of these G.I. Joe Lego things. I got the Surveillance Patrol. This has a radar truck, a motorcycle on a drone. So this is the least G.I. Joey of the ones. Nice. I'm still moving some stuff around, so there's a mess behind me. I'm getting rid of some stuff. Yeah, that's a good idea because I'll call her before I head over there. I'm sure she can use something. Hey, what's up, Padawan? How you doing, Joey? Good to see you. Good to see you. And then the other one I got was a Snowcat. And I picked these up at Big Lots. So I've been getting them from Big Lots. I actually got one the other day from the Dollar Tree that was $5. So Dollar Tree's been getting them. I know Ollie's back east has been getting those. But now I have them all. And of course, I couldn't care less about the Lego bit of them. I just like the packaging. So, oh, excellent. Then we need a swoop. They're going to just drag these out. Oh, that'd be cool. They need to figure out a way to do all the small guys in a box that's, nice. So, but Michael Bay, I don't buy those. I hate Michael Bay movies. I think I own like 3 or 4 of those because they were on clearance and because I needed representation from the different lines. But I cannot stand Michael Bay movies. To me, they broke Transformers. Because they made them way overcomplicated. They don't need all those gears and stuff moving. I don't need to see how Transformers work. I understand that they're robots, So that was about it. I did get some other stuff at the antique store. It's still in the trunk, but nothing too super duper this week. So, and of course, next week is mortgage week, so that'll probably mean that I'll find a whole bunch of new stuff. Now, while I was out, I did see some new wrestling WWE. I saw the Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I hadn't seen before, and also the Beast Wars Rat Trap and Cheetor are out, along with Optimus Primal and Megatron. So, yeah, some of those look pretty good. I don't know. I don't like them. I'm old. Like I keep looking at the new Bumblebee stuff, and I'm like, why do you keep trying to make Bumblebee something? Bumblebee sucks. Yeah, that Piper. I was really hoping Sleeping ran across the movie version of Piper from I can't think this morning. And so he looks really good. And the Cena and the Rock are out as well. So I might buy that Piper. The JYD I'm definitely buying. He was one of my favorite WWF wrestlers ever. I keep meaning to get him back into the WWF stuff that they put out. And I've got a few. I've got a Paul Orndorff, and I've got a Big John Studd, and I have an Andre. But I don't know why I didn't buy that NWO Hogan, and I haven't bought the Ric Flair yet. I don't know. I run across them at weird times. They live. Thank you, because that was going to drive me insane that I couldn't remember that. But so I do run across random WWF figures I want. I really wish they'd come to some sort of arrangement so they could use their old logo again and not have the World Wildlife Federation. Like give a portion of every figure, like 10% of every figure goes to the Wildlife Foundation, and then you can use your old logo again on stuff. It would be smart, but so yeah, that's I haven't found a whole lot new recently that I haven't already showed you guys, the Walking Dead figures and the new vintage line. It does, of course, look like the Lando from the new Black Series wave is going to be the peg warmer, because he's the only one out of that wave I see anywhere. And I don't see him very often, but when I do, there's one of him, and he's just sitting there by himself. So, still a beautiful figure. I've sworn off of Black Series, so I probably will not buy him. But there's only certain characters I'm going to buy from now on, and most of them are new stuff from the Mandalorian and stuff like that, or figures that they haven't done in a while. Like if they do a Black Series of Lobot or Bib Fortuna or stuff, I'll probably pick those up. But I have several Lando figures. I don't need another one. So, Rosef, what are you up to today? What time is it over there? Let's see, that'd be oh, I don't know. What's wrong with his outfit? Is the cape the wrong color or something? I think they should have done a figure him of from the end of Return of the Jedi in that smuggler's outfit that he wears. That would have been basically a new figure instead of just repackaging older figures again. But I did get the new vintage one of him, and he's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Well, and these weren't supposed to be out, GeForce. These, when I canceled them, still said they weren't going to be out till April of 2022 when I canceled them from my Amazon order. So I don't know why. I don't know what to tell you. I know that everybody's finding the Rogue One figures dropping out in California. So, okay. Well, that makes sense, because that's what he would have been. No, that would have been something else. Nah, I'm not that big of a nitpicker that I wouldn't buy a figure just because of that. I'm not buying it because I'm mad at Hasbro for screwing me over on Black Series for months and months and months. Meanwhile, there are 4 or 5 whole new waves of Marvel Legends all hitting simultaneously. Now, that's probably not necessarily Hasbro's fault. As we can see, there's 80 or 90 full container ships sitting off the San Diego port, and those have got to have tons of stuff on them. I mean, the interesting thing is going to be how Walmart and Target and things like that deal with Halloween merchandise specifically, because the Targets near me have almost nothing. It's October 8th, and they have almost nothing for decorations. They have some costumes, but really they need to collapse that area from the section it is until about 3 aisles. But I was asking one of the guys who was setting some stuff up over there, and they don't have any Christmas stuff to put in there. So what you might start seeing toward the end of October is, how after Christmas they put like Rubbermaid bins and stuff in there to be placeholders until the next stuff comes out? He says they may start collapsing aisles and doing that in order to keep shelves full looking instead of as empty as they are. Because I went over to my local Target, and that place was destroyed. Not only did they have no Halloween, they had almost no toys. Even the girls sections are really light. And then when you went to food, it was really, really bad. This whole supply chain thing is getting nuts. Yeah, a lot of people are moving to figure art stuff. I keep trying not to collect anything new. I really just want to stick to my vintage collection and, randomly pick up a Transformer or 2 that I need, or these weird, are they still here? Yeah. these weird Stranger Things figures. I still don't understand these, because if you're going to make Stranger Things figures, I know that the new series doesn't come out till next year, but what is this? You squeeze his legs together, his hat comes up, and the little Demogorgon guy pops out, and he looks frightened. You can see it on the back here. But if you're Bandai and you're given you get the Stranger Thing license, is this what you're going to do with it? Which are basically Ghostbusters Fright features or Beetlejuice figures back in the day. And same with 11. It's season 1 figures. Well, this is season 1. And when you squeeze her legs together, her arm lifts up and she does her little hand thing, and a little bit of blood comes out. But I don't understand why you would do this. And of course, there's a Micah, Lucas, and a Will coming, but they're not on the back. And then, of course, together they form, they make a Demogorgon on the back. But I don't understand these as a concept idea, simply because I would do stuff from the new season or things like that. I know that the first season has iconic looks and stuff to it because it basically copies, Spielberg, and it copies Stephen King and the look of the Goonies and all that. It's all 80s. That's why we loved it so much. And I can't wait for the new season. But I don't get that. But there's going to be a lot of stuff on these shipping containers that was supposed to be in the stores months ago. So that could be why we're suddenly getting all these waves together, is because these were all supposed to be separated by a couple months, and they just happen to be dumping simultaneously because some barge got unloaded that had a whole bunch of Marvel junk on it. And that's the same reason that those Captain Americas are being clearanced at Walmart, because by the time they got to the stores, those weren't on the planograms anymore. And instead of just putting them on the shelves and letting them sell at normal price, they removed them from the toy aisle, put them in the clearance aisle, marked them down to $10 and get rid of them. Which I don't get that. That's why when I worked for KB and we started going to planogram looks, I warned them that this was a bad idea because we were going to get stuff that wasn't on the planograms, and they wanted us to do the same thing and clearance it. Well, we were already a clearance outlet. We didn't need to do that. We could just create a section and put it in there, which is exactly what I did. So, I didn't have to use my markdown dollars for that. I could use it for really old stuff that needed to get out of my store. But I think we're going to see Target and them might end up with a whole bunch of Halloween stuff. I don't know. The Dollar Trees out here have no Halloween now. They've completely had to pull out some Christmas and Thanksgiving stuff because they're already out of Halloween. Now, they've had Halloween out for a month, but usually at least through the middle of the month, they have stuff. Hey, what up, dude? How you doing, sir? We are talking supply chain stuff at the moment. And the weird possibility that we may have really good clearance toys all through Christmas. And I do too. I enjoyed working with the toys. I really loved working with the kids and seeing them, be happy with getting toys. I even don't miss the Black Friday stuff. And at KB, we called it Green Friday because it's, until everybody called it Black Friday and they just changed the term, because it's when we made money. A KB in your mall only was able to exist the rest of the year because of the money they made the day after Thanksgiving until like the week before Christmas. We coasted the rest of the time. Each of those stores would make, if it was in a really high traffic mall, they could make $2,000 or $3,000 a day. If you were in a low traffic store, you were happy if you made $500 to $600 a day. And then the closer you got to Christmas, the more and more you'd make. And we would make $250,000 in a weekend on Black Friday. And that kept us alive for the whole rest of the year. You know, I think that's not, well, no, ours was gone a little before that. I think ours was gone. No, ours was gone a little after that, but not too far. I think we lasted until, because on 9/11 I was at work. So we lasted until 2000. No, you know what? I think we did close right around 2008 or 2009. I saw it come and got out before, because I just decided they were making horrible choices. But that's because the guys who own Subway and Domino's bought us and didn't understand how real retail works. Yeah, there's not. In England, they got Smiths. I think Smiths would do well if they expanded into the United States. And TRU is going to try and make a comeback, but we'll see how that works. They really need to stop being. Initially, they need to be about half the size they were just to get their foot into the door and get it going again. I don't think you could reoccupy Toys R Us stores. Most of them are all something else now. And of course, this time of year, most of them are spirits. But, I think they need to be about half the size, like maybe the size of a Ross, in order to be, hey, Renato, how you doing? Viable. And they need to be very careful on what they carry. They can't carry everything again. But, and see, I think that's the opposite. I think they went way too small. I mean, what is the point? First of all, Macy's aren't everywhere anymore. They just closed a whole bunch of their own stores. And so now they're taking on something. It's like the Disney stores inside Target. If you saw my recent video walking around, all Target really did was picked up most of their Disney stuff and moved it into one little area. It's not even a very big area. And that gave them footage inside their toy aisles. But like I said, they removed Star Wars from the aisle and put it over there. Now, they haven't removed like Marvel from their toy aisle because I think Marvel is too big of a seller to move out of a toy aisle. But if all they do is carve out a little bit of an area and put the stuff they already carry in, then that defeats the purpose of a Disney store, which was to have different stuff. No, I don't. I see. I think GameStops are way too small. There's a GameStop by me that is huge, absolutely massive. Way too big for a GameStop, but they do a good business because they're able to carry so much more. I think something along the size of a Ross, because you still want them to carry Power Wheels, you still want them to carry bikes, and to do that they need space because they have to assemble and put it out there. Yeah, I think we have two Macy's still in town. There's one over by me in the Aurora Mall, and I think there's one down in Southlands. Southlands, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, and see, that was their idea of a pop-up stores that they were going to do there for a little while. They were going to try and be a spirit, basically, that would run from October through Christmas. And that might work some places, but we need something that they can order and get to and have all year long. See, and I think that's going to expand, Ronaldo. We only have two in Denver that I know of, but I think they're going to expand those out a little more quickly. What up, Tim? I just want more stuff. See, what I want is, I don't want, if there was a GameStop, then it'd be about the size of a Walmart toy section. And we need something at least twice that size. Because what we really need is, we don't just need Toys R Us, excuse me, to carry the same stuff Target and Walmart does. We need them to carry, the same stuff and new stuff. Like when Toys R Us was around, you were able to have stuff like Food Fighters or Barnyard Commandos and stuff like that because they could sell it. And if it sold well, then Walmart's would pick it up. And if it didn't sell well, there was KB as a backstop. Somebody actually needs to create a new outlet. And that's kind of where Ross was sitting for a while. Ross and TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Burlington Coat Factory was able to fill in a gap in the market to get rid of some of that stuff. Well, they're having a hard time getting toys because there isn't any toys in the stores. So there's not a lot of stuff peg warming and failing. So it's, it's weird. GeForce, that happened around a lot, and I don't know why. When GameStop bought an electronics boutique, they did the same thing around here. They closed all the electronics boutiques, even though they had more space, and we never had ThinkGeeks here. But I know that where they did, they got rid of ThinkGeeks. Well, why don't you just look at who has the better lease? And maybe that's what they did. But if like when we bought Children's Pal, we bought Circus World as KB, and we bought a couple other companies. And every time they did, they looked at the leases for those. And if they had a better lease with randomly about the same amount of space, they would close the KB and move it to the new spot and just change the signs. So and I get that it's because around here we had a lot of spots where there was an electronics boutique, and like either across the hall in the mall or across the street, if they were freestandings, that they would have a GameStop. And so they had to figure out what needed to go. So I get getting rid of some stuff, but for a while we had a GameStop and an electronics boutique at either end of the mall. And so they just left the name and made the money. And they could play, the employees would play off each other. It was great. I have not seen that anywhere, but I'm also told that it's not on the planogram anywhere. So it's going to go on an end cap, but I don't know where. If that's a new upcoming end cap. So, yeah, Kmart's pretty much all gone as far as I know. Kohl's, we've still got some Kohl's around here. They're slowly folding. I'm amazed that JCPenney's has lasted as long as it has. But again, they stopped carrying stuff and became clothing stores, and they became shoe stores. And, you just don't draw a ton of people. Like for a couple of decades, there was no reason for me to go into Sears or JCPenney's. Why would I? They don't carry toys anymore. Usually if we went to the mall, I made sure I went to Montgomery Ward, to Walgreens, or to Walmart, not Walmart, Woolworth, Sears, JCPenney's, because they all had a little toy department, especially at Christmas, and you could get good stuff. But, then they stopped carrying that stuff because they couldn't compete with Toys R Us and Walmart, is why they said it, and they just put it into their catalogs, and then they got rid of their catalogs, and, because websites came along, which are better because they can be upgraded. ThinkGeek had a lot of cool stuff in it. I would go to their website every so often and buy stuff off of it. Yeah, GameStop is still pretty heavy into Pops, but mine have Black Series, and mine have Marvel. They do statues, and they don't sell. I don't know, I don't know. They try and they tried to pull ThinkGeek stuff out. Now, if they were smart in some of the larger GameStops, they would cut the store in half, basically, and have what looks like a ThinkGeek on one half and all the video games on the other half. And you wouldn't necessarily have to have, a huge merchandising difference, just like a neon line down the store or something. And then they could carry more and more stuff that they carried on their websites. And I know a lot of that stuff rolled over into the GameStop website, but and GameStop has gotten really good. Um, and they've expanded quite a lot. But in the real small stores, there's no room to expand. The one right by my house, they've now taken over well over half the store now for statues and pops and some figures and stuff, which sell well. But I'm not going to go to a GameStop to buy a Monopoly game, you know, first of all. And secondly, there doesn't need to be a Fortnite Monopoly game. But yeah, GameStop had an opportunity to buy stuff, and they carry a lot of different stuff like those figure. Yeah, they carry those. Who else carries that stuff that isn't a comic book store or something? And I think they missed a mark by carrying way too expensive stuff. They could have done those as an exclusive or something that could be sent to the stores, instead of putting up, like, one of my stores has a 4-foot section in a glass case where they've taken a whole bunch of those out of the cases, the boxes, and they're sitting there so they look pretty and stuff, and they keep the dust off them and it looks nice. But I don't think those have changed in a year or so. Sometimes they move them around a little bit and add one, but obviously they're not selling. So that's 4 feet of dead space. So yeah, and my store does randomly gets Black Series, but they mostly just get the video game ones that Hasbro does, and then they do have a lot of Marvel. In fact, the larger store has about 6 to 8 feet of Marvel Legends figures. They do carry quite a lot of those, and they carry Super 7, and they carry Funko stuff that isn't just pops. They carry Loungefly, and they carry the pens. They carry all that stuff, but they have the space for it. My local one, you have to order all that stuff specially, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, and it, if you don't have something that's going to sell like that, put it up above on around the up in the building. You don't need to take 4 feet of that. You could make 4 feet of other games that'll sell better, or 4 feet of more figures. Yeah. Well, and I like my local store. Those guys are great, and they've been there. They survived COVID. So I try and buy stuff from them instead of pre-ordering it from the website. I don't know why I can't pre-order it on the website, because it's my home store, and then give them the credit for the pre-order. I don't know. That whole circle of life thing at GameStop was stupid. But I'd like my store to get more credit for the stuff I pre-order, even if I pre-order it online, because half the time I try and get it shipped to the store if I can, so it'll at least go through them. But I mean, sometimes it's just easier to have it shipped to the house. Same with Hot Topic. I've got 2 or 3 big boxes of Funkos coming today, from Hot Topic, and I could have just sent those to the store, and went over there, but I can't be bothered to go all the way to the mall, because they're the only thing I go to in the mall now. But yeah, it's, I don't know, and that's one of those things where you have to, you vary what you're going to do and where you're going to save money. And it is nice to finally walk into stores. As you've seen on my last couple toy hunts, I've actually found some things, and that was really nice. It was nice to walk in and start to see the shelves fill up a little bit, even in areas I don't buy or collect. Seeing stuff back on the shelves again was very nice. I think psychologically it helps a lot with this feeling that somehow the world has come to a stop and that we've fallen behind. Um, and those cargo ships, I mean, I know I put something on Facebook or somewhere the other day that said, you know, in New York, they're supposedly calling out the reserves to help in hospitals because they're having a nurse shortage because they fired a whole bunch of people for not getting the stick. Also, they may call out people to drive buses because of the same reason. Well, if we're having the exact same problem at the ports in, you know, in New Orleans and San Diego and Los Angeles and Houston, or not Houston, wherever, then shouldn't we be doing the same thing? Isn't it a priority to get everything back moving again? And if the dock workers are sick or not showing up to work or whatever is going on with them, or they're just overworked, you know, for a long time nothing was shipping and then everything opened up again and they dumped, everything's coming out. And so they need help. Well, isn't there something the reserve guys can do? Even if it's just taking, you know, sure they can't, there's got to be guys who know how to unload and load containers. We do that in the military all the time for Navy and stuff. So there's got to be people who can take extra shifts and do that. We have truck drivers in the reserves. We should be able to do that. Or could we do something that lessens the strain on the system just to get stuff moving again? You know, it's, and I know it's not, we can't use the real military to do that inside the US, but you know, the reserves are a good thing that we could use for a limited time and try to get some of this stuff moving again, because they're just going to back up and back up and back up, and then we're going to have, Walmarts are going to be getting Christmas decorations in February that they're going to have to store somewhere until next year. What they I did a video a few days ago of my local, one of my local Walmarts has already put a whole bunch of Christmas out, and I went back yesterday. That's where I picked up my slag, and a couple of the guys were in there and they were moving some stuff around. And I said, well, what's going on? He said, this is all we have. This is all the Christmas we have right now. And we're being told it might be another 2 or 3 weeks before we get anything more in. So they're already starting to condense the Christmas stuff they have in order to make it not look so empty. And it's weird. It's weird. Yes, exactly. Hannibal would have this fixed in no time. They would make some sort of contraption that would automatically unload all that stuff. But yeah, it's, you know, and distribution has been a problem, but it's getting worse and worse. And I have a friend who just started overland trucking again. They're offering like $5,000 and some $1,000 for truckers to either come out of retirement or get into the business or to change companies because they have contracts they can't fulfill. And then when you get out, if something breaks, they're having issues getting parts to fix the trucks that are broken. And so you get where it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of, you know, we're going to have these shortages, and then here they are. And they have warned, oh, I think it's going to start raining. Awesome. They've been warning everybody that if you see something on the shelves, you better buy it, because there's no 100% guarantee it's going to be there the next time you go to that Walmart or to that Target. And I've seen that, and you know, it's true. Yeah, my roommate has picked up a whole bunch of stuff for her kids, and so they're a little bit ahead of the curve, but I think a lot of people are just now starting to realize that we're running out of stuff. And being a consumer nation the way we are, you know, it's not going to be too long before you have to start looking at, they're going to have to start cutting hours of employees because they don't have anything for them to do. Like most of the Targets around here have stopped doing overnight shifts because they don't have enough freight to have a whole overnight shift work and then have the day shift do stuff. So now they've moved some of those night people to the day shift and let the rest of them go, um, because they can get everything done now for their stuff during the day. I'm sure you've all noticed the pallets and pallets of stuff sitting out on the floor for Walmart. Well, they did the same thing. They stopped having a lot of night shifts, and now all of a sudden they need them again, and they can't hire them. I've got a Walmart over by my house that's offering $18.32 an hour for people to come work. My job, we just got what's for us is considered a huge raise, just because we're having a hard time hiring people, which is why I work so much. And they finally realized that they needed to really give us a bump in pay in order to be competitive with new workers. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting Christmas, I think, um, as far as shopping and from a retail, and that's the whole thing. Is when I go into the stores, I still think in my retail mind about how these things are set up. That's why I don't understand Walmart and Target clearancing all this stuff when they don't have anything to fill the shelves with now. I get that they have planograms and you have to follow the planograms, but do you really? Can't you just put the stuff in the Marvel section that's absolutely empty? You know, and if it's the computers marking stuff down, that's fine. And then I guess put it in the clearance aisle, but make a clearance section in the toy section. Walmart moves all their clearance to one area, which kind of makes sense because you can take a couple aisles and turn it into the whole store's clearance section. But, you know, we don't know that there's new Captain America figures over there. You have to make sure to look at the clearance section every time now. Yeah. Well, and you know, it's and that's saying that's the other end of it. They've all picked up on this, and so now they're going to start panic buying, like they did for pasta and cereal and toilet paper. I mean, dear God, if we had a toys toilet paper type thing, there wouldn't be anything anywhere, you know. Yeah, and even online is going to be hard because some of these stores are going to start keeping things for the online bit. So if they don't have to ship it to the stores, they don't have that lag time. So Target, I don't know what they had. Was today another one of those Target collector day things? I know New York Comic Con's this weekend, so I didn't know if they were doing something. Yeah, exactly. What would happen if suddenly, even in the girls area and the puzzles and board games, if suddenly everybody was like, well, you know, ABC, Fox, you know, CNN, everybody's saying that we've got to get stuff for Christmas now, or we might not have stuff for our kids. And they'll hit the stores, and they're going to wipe the stores clean. And I don't know. It's weird. We've never run into something like this in modern times. You know, we had this kind of stuff during World War II all the time, but that was because that was sanctioned stuff. You know, you couldn't get that kind of thing. But, well, and that's, you know, my mom started doing that a couple of years ago because she just couldn't find. My mom hates shopping online because she likes to see what she's buying. She likes to hold it. And she tried the online stuff, and you know how things are shipped these days. So some of the stuff would get to her nieces and nephews, and it'd be crushed or it'd be broken, and then they get a broken toy from their Aunt Mary, and she didn't like it. So she has flipped to gift cards for a lot of the kids. Now the younger kids don't, but pretty much anybody 10 and up gets a gift card because they can buy it whatever they want, and she generally gets an Amazon one or a Walmart one because then they can get whatever they want, and it's just easier. Yeah, exactly. And I do it. I do it for friends and family. I get, I know people who like certain restaurants, so I'll get them, a $50 gift card, and they can get 2 or 3 meals out of that, or they can take the family for one big meal, and it's, um, I don't know what that sound is. Oh well, if something blows up, it blows up. I know I heard somebody deliver something a few minutes ago, and that's probably on my Hot Topic Funkos, um, which I need to stop buying. But they make so many cool ones. No, some I know are coming. They made a Nightmare Before Christmas train, and I ordered most of those pieces. All right, Dandy, talk to you later. Yeah, I'm probably only going to be on for another about 5 minutes. I need to get over. My mom had surgery yesterday, so I need to go over and see how she's doing. Need to call her and see if she needs me to go to Walmart and stop by and see if they have anything she needs before I head over. What up, nerd? How you doing? Nerd, we're just kind of talking a little bit, just kind of random, how most of if I don't have a guest, I do go very random. So uh, it's, uh, guests keep me on point for the most part, unless it's John. And then the both of us just meander. You have no clue where our conversation started or how we get to where we were. But John is in Walt Disney World at the moment. So hopefully see a little shot from him. I know he went to Batu yesterday and picked up some stuff that he was looking for. So hopefully he's going out to the Magic Kingdom today, looking for some of the Muppets Haunted Mansion stuff I need. And as soon as I get off here, I'm going to the D23 shop and getting some stuff I need. So we'll probably just stay on until 9:30, another 3 or 4 minutes. Then I can finish that, get out to the store, get mom some stuff, tide her over for the weekend, and go from there. All right, G-Force, thanks for dropping by, man. I'm going to have, I don't know, depends whether you guys want I might have John on again for a live stream. I've got a whole bunch of card stuff I'd like to go over. I got a whole bunch of new cards, but I was thinking about just doing it as a normal video, talking about card packs and stuff like that. But I did just get a whole bunch of new autographs, a whole bunch of new insert sets and stuff like that. And I just haven't gotten that video set. So it may turn into a live stream next week, or it might just be a normal video. So normally, see, and my store is always full. I don't have any customers. They never show up. I run sales and nobody ever comes in, so I don't know. Some of this stuff's been here for like 50 years. Yeah, see, I can fill my shelves. How come Walmart can't? But yeah, so I've got some Playmobil. I got a whole bunch of Series 1 and Series 2 Scooby-Doo Playmobil mystery packs I want to open. That's a video. I want to do a little video on my couch potato guy. I've got one on recent pickups, which now probably is a couple videos. I've got Funko coming today. That's another video. Trading cards is another video. Like I said, I've got 10 or 11 set up. I am thinking about taking one of the Cobra or Viper of those Lego G.I. Joes and building it. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in mind that I'd like to do. So, yeah, that's what I want to do, is set up something next week. And he should be on Peg Warmer Saturday for a couple minutes. And I'm going to see about setting up something hopefully next Monday so he can come on. I don't know if he might want to do that kind of thing on his channel, because he kind of stopped doing live streams for a while. And me and him would like to get together every couple weeks and do a stream and just bullshit, because it's kind of what we do here. It's what YouTube's all about. Without it, you know, what would we do? So anyway, thank you guys for dropping in this morning. Um, I know it's kind of an off day for me to do stuff, but going forward, I may start doing more live streams on Thursday or Friday, depending on when I work. I do have 1 week at the end of the month I'm covering for my boss, and so I work through, and then God knows what's going to happen. We have somebody on vacation every week from the end of October through the middle of December. So again, unless they get us some people, it's going to be weird around in my schedule again. So that's, maybe that's what the next one with me and John will be called. It's all about the BS. That could be our weekly thing. So anyway, thank you guys so much again for dropping in and spending an hour or so with me. And until then, catch you guys on the flip side.